everybody, this is Sean from The Verge, and I'm here at Tesla's design studio in
Hey everybody, good morning. This is Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing, and we're about to get started here. Happy Monday. I hope everyone had a great weekend and is looking forward to the week ahead. Obviously, if you've been following us, our live streams every day, whether it's through the replay or live, you know that right now we have a lot of going on. We have some trades open. We're going to talk about managing them today, and we're going to be taking a look to see if there are any new developments that we can take advantage of. All right, so we're going to start it off with the Euro US dollar, and we know that we're trading within this channel right here, this descending channel, and we're coming up close to this support line down here. We have drawn in at 1.099. That's going to be our first decision point on what we do and whether or not we take profit from the open trades that we're carrying, or we hold them to see if we get a test. See this blue area down here? This will be a take profit zone no matter what. So it looks like we have another 24 hours before we get towards this area, perhaps during London overnight. What we're going to do is wait and see how price reacts off of that support. If price does go down and test it again, which we're perceiving is going to happen, what we're looking for to see is if price breaks through there. If it gushes through there with some kind of force, then this trade becomes a longer term hold. If we see price stalling out there, at that point, we're going to have to take profit. Is going to be support over there. And if you look on the DXY also, you'll notice that we're coming up towards this resistance up here. So the two of them are obviously coinciding with each other. Mark, good morning. Welcome. Glad you're here with us. We actually have a lot of trades that fell into our favor since last week. So we need to take a look at all of them. I have a feeling I'm going blind right now into the session, just like you. I have a feeling that's going to take up most of our day. We'll see if there's any other opportunities as well. Hopefully there are. Gold is another position that we have open ever since we took the short zero. Hold on, let me pull out gold for you. We got a really nice response to the weekly Forex forecast. I don't have it in the description yet. It is on the homepage of the YouTube channel. We've been short ever since this tested this resistance up here, right? We had entry criteria with the entry CCI pull back against the true trend at support. And as price resumed downwards, we took it. We're still holding that. This trade looks good, right? So the first time that we're going to be looking to take profit is around 1446, 1448 in that area over there. Again, if price is able to make a nice clean break through that support that's coming up, we're then looking to hold a little further. We're looking towards this big blue buy zone we have on here for gold. So we're going to watch gold. We're holding that right now. US dollar, Japanese yen, let's take a look at. That was looking really iffy on Friday, but we really talked ourselves through it. We talked about why we were still holding it. We talked about the levels, what we were wrong. I'm going to walk you through that right now real quick. This is a really important one to review, and it showed a lot of patience as well as planning paying off. So let's take a look at it. We can see it's trading right now at this resistance level right here. Okay, that's important to watch, and how price is going to react off it. You see the resistance going back to here. Here it's resistance. This resistance held again. It did broke twice here. And then over here we have resistance. So price is trading at resistance right now. This is important for us to watch and decide what is going to happen, right? So are we thinking of taking profits? Well, I have my stop loss down under here, right? At 108.18, 108.2, one of those two levels, I'm not sure. And the reason being because if price were to take out those stops, this rising wedge pattern that we're trading off of has completely failed. We've broken out of it. Although we're making a new swing high now, right? So is that stop get moved up to 108.43? You see here's the last penetration of the entry CCI to the downside. And now price is making a new high. So need to focus, and I'm going to focus in this later in the live stream, whether or not to move this stop up towards 108.4 level, right? That would, we'll take a look at this deeper. I'm not sure right now what's going on, but I am going to be watching what happens here at this resistance. What is price going to do? Now, if it pulls back, what we're hoping is going to happen is this trend line is going to be respected more. It is iffy, right? Because we should have two drawn in here. Is it on the daily? Because you can see that price has penetrated the lower side, not really closing below it though multiple times, and that has it again. This is one we need to watch on, see how it develops. Jeff, Morris, good morning, everyone. If any of you have any of these open trades that you're still managing, let me know which pair it is. I'm going to focus it in there for you right now. I'm not changing anything yet to any of mine. My gold is staying the same as it is. My Euro US dollar is staying the same as it is. Probably I'm going to be looking later in this live stream at, discerning whether or not to move my stop loss on the US dollar, Japanese yen. Hopefully we break up above this resistance. That makes everything much easier for me. We're going to keep moving along though and see what else is going on. There is one more open trade right now, as far as I have, and that's the Australian, two more. Australian dollar, US dollar, and the Euro Japanese yen. So let's take a look at both of them before we start looking for some new setups. Amir, welcome. Glad you're here with us. So right now, as we enter New York here, we have the Australian dollar trading towards the lows of the days. We have this nice wick up here. This is sending us clues, breadcrumbs that buyers are having a little bit of trouble holding on to gains up here, and the sellers have taken control. We want to see a break, obviously, below here. We want to see a break below 0.6769. At that point, the stop loss will be moved to break even on this trade, and we'll be looking down towards this take profit level. The Australian dollar is relative to the US dollar, been putting up a little bit of strength. The euro has been a little bit weaker, so we're going to see what happens here. Let me look down on the 8-hour. See, I hope this breaks through to the downside here, because this seems to be putting up a nice fight, right? So this is also a question, if we see a little bit during this New York session, if we see the US dollar start coming off, I might just want to get out of this trade and focus on the stronger ones. But again, nothing's happening right now. We'll take a deeper look at this in real time together as this happens, so I could walk you through what I would be thinking and when. But I want to look at the Euro Japanese yen, and it's having trouble getting, you see this blue box we have here? Let me delete this one. This blue box here is a resistance level, and price seems to be having trouble getting above it, right? It tested again. We're wicking off a little. We'll see what happens on the first half hour once the U.S. markets open, once the U.S. equity markets open, and hopefully this gets some follow through a little. This trade is lagging behind. Again, I mean, I know we've looked at this one really closely. We are still playing this channel. We're playing the support. This is the hard part of trading the channels, whether it's up here in these two areas or down in these areas when you're playing off of support. Again, if you do stick to your guns and you trade it well, it opens up for a lot of profit potential each way. And right now, this trade is still, although it's not really into profit, I think this is our only pair not into profit. It's still holding up technically well. We're going to need a break. We're going to need a break below. Let me check where my stop is right now. I don't have it open. I believe my stop is down at 119.18. That's pretty wrong. If that triggers, we're dead wrong on this, and we're breaking lower. I'm going to keep that open as well. All the losses that we took on the pound US dollar and pound Japanese yen yet last week. Right now, the current trades we're holding have since made up for that, which is good. We're just going to continue pushing forward. Yeah, we can take a look right now. We'll take a look at the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. This is good. We're going into this fresh. It's not a pair I follow, so I'll give you a fresh look at it right now. So the first thing we're going to do is look at this on the daily time frame without any indicators and just give ourselves a bigger perspective. And you can see right here that price is trading. How much resistance is over here? How much support is over here? A little bit. I would draw the support line in over here. All right, over here you have support, resistance, support, resistance, broken, support. There's the support line. The momentum right now is with the New Zealand dollar against the Australian dollar. You're sitting on minor support right up here. You see it right there. You see that resistance? It's minor. This is very low. Price is definitely reacting off it. But the stronger support, the take profit zone, is down a little lower, as well as you would be looking to buy. It's clear that the New Zealand dollar has been, stronger over the last couple of weeks. And this is an area that a lot of traders will be focusing on to take profits off of and lean against. That's what you're looking for. If you look down a little further, you could see here that in this downtrend, right now, price is pulled back against it. This is actually looks like it's getting ready to make that final push, that leg lower towards this take profit zone down here towards that support. That's what's going on over on the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. Hadley, welcome. Good morning. I'm glad you're here joining us. Good to see you. Let's take a look at the pound US dollar. Oh, man, right? Let's look at our pound US dollar. Technically, it's beautiful, right? Technically, it's beautiful. Why? Well, we had this trend line drawn in over here, and once price broke out, right? I took a long all the way up here, which was stopped out. But we said that, hey, listen, the odds are, well, we have to respect that this trend line. Look for price to hold it and to bounce off that support. That's what it's doing right now. I want to see what that looks like on the 8-hour. So the entry for this play, if you were taking this, was right over here. It was during the London session as price made a higher high, bouncing off of the support than the previous price bar. So a good entry that is down at 1.2858. Obviously, I'm not going to be chasing this to the upside right now. Unless this gets below these three areas of support, you have this area of support, this trend line, this light support, and this heavy support, this horizontal line. If price gets below this horizontal line and it's cleared these three levels of support, we're looking for shorts. We're looking for shorts with a take profit in this area. But right now, technically, this is solid. The support is held. This is looking up. How do you get in this trade if you missed it like myself? Well, you see this? Look at this with me. You see this trend line over here? We're looking for the entry CCI to now, when it does become overbought with this true trend rising positive. Around the time that happens, we're hoping that price will be somewhere over here, again, bouncing off of this support this time. And that will give us another entry. Price rarely moves straight up and straight down, and this could just take off, and then we never have an entry into it. Right now, it's in no man's land. I'm not chasing after this. The entry was during London, wasn't even watching it. I had 4 other trades open, so wasn't looking at it. But it's nice to see it bouncing off the support that was noted in the weekly Forex forecast. That's what traders need to be watching for. And it's happening right now. But it's got a lot of work ahead of it, right? Resistance is all the way up here. But to get up there, it's still got a little work ahead of it. It is fighting against the stronger US dollar, though. You notice that the pound is stronger than the US dollar, when the US dollar is stronger than most pairs. So if you do get a reversal in the US dollar, the pound should be leading the way up higher. Absolutely. Obi-Wan. Let's look at the pound, Japanese yen. Same thing. You know, look at this is going on 4 weeks now of consolidation. And the beauty is it's been off of this enormous move up, right? The lows down here to up there, that's about, let's say, it's about 1,600 pips. This is about 1,000 pips. Price for 4 weeks has been consolidating that move. Most likely, it looks like, you know, this is going to break to the upside, but we're going to see what happens. It's far away from doing that still. It's still in the midway in this range. If you make a range between the low and the high of this consolidation period, price is just right now back in the middle. Sure looked like it was going to break down, had the possibility on Friday of breaking down, but you had this support right under it. So it's tough to trade until this breaks out up or down. And for down, for me, it's got to break below this trend line, right? And then it's got to get below this trend line. It's got, you know, taking longs on a test of these two support areas somewhere over here, that will be solid, as well as if we get a breakout to the upside, and then when we can find out an entry. But right now, this is in no man's land. It's not even considering a trade on the pound Japanese yen. Yep. So, I mean, excellent question, Jeff. I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to look at the 8-hour for you. The question is, why would I consider going long on the pound US dollar? Now, again, we talked about just looking at this from a technical perspective, that this trend line right here, we were waiting to see if it held a support, and until it broke, we expect that it's going to hold a support, even though when we looked at this last Friday towards the close, it's trading down at the bottom of it and things looked pretty bleak. You know, if you go ahead and you just view the section in the weekly Forex forecast on the pound US dollar, we talked about we're waiting for this to hold to see if it holds. We won't get short until it breaks below it. Why would you get short if the true trend is negative? Now, I'm gonna go all over the place here. The US dollar, Japanese yen, we were following this last week, and I talked about why with that short, I would take a long. And that was because I was playing it off the support of the rising wedge. And here on the pound US dollar, and again, I didn't get it. I didn't take this trade because I had 4 open trades. I wasn't looking to take on more risk. But the reason why you would take this trade if you took it with a negative true trend is because you're playing the technical play off the support. Here's the support. It holds. As soon as price makes a higher high than the previous 8-hour price bar, that's a signal to go long. You're taking it off of a technical reason. You know, you could just get rid of the indicator there. You're playing off of pure technicals there. Now, the way to get in now, Jeff, you're going to say is it's safer to get in if the trend does turn positive. And then it's safer if the entry CCI is oversold in that positive trend and you're off of a support level. Then you have more things aligned in your favor. But this is still a valid trade that's possible to take. Again, this is not a black and white system. This is discretionary trading that we do here together. This is not like our simple and easy strategy to follow. This is discretionary trading. This is why we talk ourselves through the trades every day, learning how we think, how we see the market, and how to trade because it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, right? It's kind of like 1, 3, 2, 4, right? Things just, they don't flow black and white. And we're just following them, watching, learning how to think, learning how to see the market, learning how to trade. And that's why you would take this trade with a negative trend here. Raj, good morning. Welcome from across the pond. Mima, Euro US dollar. Take a look at it real quick. It's the same thing if you look at the weekly Forex forecast. I don't have that link in the description yet. That will be there the rest of the week. You can find it from the homepage. But it's the same thing we looked at over the weekend, and that is We're still holding this trade short. You're not chasing after price here. Our entries were all the way up here, right? There was an entry here and here. Here was mine. And there was another entry the following day over here. We were trading off of this support. This trend line was not drawn in yet. This channel line was not drawn in yet. We were trading off of this resistance right above it. We took our trades with the trend. Jeff with the trend. The entry CCI was giving us trade criteria, and we took them. And right now we're holding shorts. We're looking for price to see if it'll test, and hopefully it'll test this green line of support we have right over here. And if it does, let me just drop back to the daily. If price does test this support, you can see here in the daily, at that point, I'll move my stop to break even, and I'll see how price reacts. If price stalls out, or if price begins to stall and bounce, I'll take profits on this trade and call it a fantastic trade. If price is able to blow through this level, this support level with a little bit of momentum, at that point, then I'm holding it and I'm looking to take profit down here in this blue zone, which will be taking profit off the lower end of this channel, which I expect will be respected. And you will also have this resistance, the support down here. Let me draw that in just for later reference. So if price is down here, it's converging upon two levels. That would be the ultimate take profit zone. We're watching to see how price reacts right around there. What is everyone else watching? If anyone else is looking at a pair that right now we're going to see what else is developing in the markets and to see if there's any other opportunities that we want to get ready for. Real quick, we noted last week that the calendar looked light, right? If you're trading, for example, you want to be aware of the calendar always. I personally don't expect, I expect this to be the trigger. This is after the close of the market this week. It is the manufacturing PMI out of China, definitely going to affect the Australian dollar and the rest of the markets. I think this is a pretty light calendar we have the rest of the week. So I expected these moves to continue. So I'm hoping we get a look at some take profits, whether it's here or here later in the week. I'm hoping that we get some continuation on these yen pairs. We have to watch the euro Japanese yen. It's weak. This is looking better. Hopefully we get above this resistance. It would be nice if these trades, they have a few days now to kind of work out. So is this a good opportunity to take new trades? Yeah, if there's some setups, we have a light calendar ahead of us and we could get some follow through. So let's see if there's any opportunities presenting themselves. Let's go searching right now. Let's see. This is nice. Let's see what's why I say this is nice. You see that we have this support down here, and we saw price overnight come down and test that support and is now trading to the upside. Let's look what that looks like on the 8-hour. We're looking for euro Australian dollar. Again, so this, I missed this. This is what happened. We already had the support drawn in. It looks like during Asia, price came down and tested it. And then in London, it triggered long. Price is very close to that entry right now. Do you see that? Do you see that we're in this uptrend? Entry CCI has come down, giving us criteria for entry with price testing a support level. So that's the type of trade that we like to trade, right? Price is very close. The entry would have been at the high of this price bar when price resumed the uptrend. So price is about 5 or 6 pips above it. It's possible to go ahead and set a buy limit order there, a buy stop over there. If price comes down, a buy stop. If price comes down and trades down below 5 pips, you could easily get into that trade. Let's see. I'm not going to take it only because, again, I have 4 open positions that I'm managing. So that's good. But this is a valid trade. This is one for people to look at. And the only reason I'm not taking it or looking to even try to get into it is because I do have 4 open positions, and this is not screaming to me. This is a trade that I want to look at. And well, how much room is to the upside? Because you have a lot of resistance right around here. Let's call it 0.63. So that, yeah, there's about 55 pips. It's a nice trade. You know where you're wrong. If price takes out this support level, you're dead wrong. It's a nice trade. I don't know what you guys think of it. I like it. Yeah, but Amir, the reason I missed them is because I wasn't looking to enter them. I have again 4 open trades, and that is a lot, and they're working out nicely, and I'm content with managing them. I don't need to take on risk here or add any more trades unless something is beautiful. And the pound US dollar, I was watching it to see how it reacted. We had this Jordan. It's very important whether you take them or not, and it almost doesn't even matter to review the trades, especially the ones you miss. This really gets imprinted on your brain. It helps you subconsciously going forward as you're trading. So it's really important reviewing all the trades, and that's why we take the time to review them, not actively seeking to take on more trades with such a full hand right now. But it's like treasure hunt. I want to look at this right now because I want to show you what I see. This is the pound Canadian dollar. And we have this on the daily, this trend line over here that was broken. See, I'm looking at price now coming back up and testing that breakdown, right? To see if this resistance holds. What does that look like on a smaller time frame? This could be this could be actually, now Jeff, the trend is up and it's a strong one. This could be the end of a trend, right? So you want to look and watch how this develops here. We're going to wait, obviously, further. We're not looking to take this type of counter trend trade. There's nothing to trade off of. There's the resistance up here. And if price does come up, it's actually testing resistance here. And then you have this one above it. So if this starts resuming downwards, though, and we get this close to it, I might even wait for a 0 line cross the negative side. We're going to keep watching this one. I'm going to walk you through it as it happens. Nothing's happening today. Nothing's happening before tomorrow in New York, I don't think. I'm just going to keep updating and watching. The reason we're watching it, just for make the mental note, is that we have this trend line that was broken. Price has now come up to test it as resistance. It's not only testing the resistance up here, it's testing this resistance here. You see it? The broken support is now resistance. So this is a trade that we want to watch because this looks like this trend could be coming to an end. And this could provide a nice opportunity to the downside. We're going to keep following this one. And I just want to push her up. All right. Mark, let's take a look at the Euro Australian dollar. Yeah. We just looked at this one too. Yeah, that's why you're saying that. Yep. The support held. Australian dollar is starting to look a little weaker. If the Australian dollar breaks down below here, below this support it's sitting at right now, which I crossing my fingers it does because this trade is just barely into profit. That's going to open up a nice little move, and then hopefully it'll take the Euro Australian dollar with it, where the Australian dollar will start making some gains on it. And yep. We'll see. It looks like right now we're about 2 minutes away from the U.S. equity market opening. And let's see if we get a little bit of push. It will be nice. We were looking at the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen last week. This is also the support is holding. You could see that clearly, as soon as we pop onto it. This looks like the same channel the Euro Japanese yen is trading within. This looks very similar to the Euro Japanese yen and how it's trading. So obviously I'm not going to take a position on the CAD Japanese yen when I have an open position the same direction on the Euro Japanese yen. But just so everyone knows, this does look like the support of this trend line is trying to hold. If it does, again, we have some room to the upside. This could be a beautiful trade as it would be on the Euro. But if we break down below this trend line here, we're looking for shorts. This type of channel, when it breaks down, it provides some nice opportunity, right? Just looking ahead, the first thing we'd be looking at on a breakdown here is it take profits all the way down on the test of this support of this channel. All right. So again, we're just watching this. Nothing's happening yet. We're still within the channel. I'm not taking a long here because I have my euro long open. Which of the two was going to work out better? I have no idea. But you don't want to take both. All right, let's see if we get some follow through early in this session. I hope we do. I'm noticing here, I guess the Australian dollar is just showing signs of weakness. So out of all the yen pairs, this looks like it's the weakest, showing the yen is the strongest against the Australian dollar. It seems to be trading, all other pairs seem to be, the yen seems to be trading weaker against. What that does mean to me, if you were to see yen strength come in, and we don't have that today, would probably see the best opportunity against the Australian dollar. The Australian dollar looks like it could be one of the weaker pairs today. I have no idea. Normally Forex Live will show us the weakest and the strongest pairs going into the session. I'll take a look at that. But there's no opportunity here at all on the Australian dollar, Japanese yen at all. We're just stuck in no man's land, not even worth the time right now. And just this is, and it's not important. We're getting close to perhaps a breakout to the upside on the New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen. We're not there yet. We've been rejected off that today. Seen both the Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar putting in these long wicks on the daily against the yen today. But it's possible sometime this week, we do get a breakout here to the upside. That is a trade that we will play if we get a break out to the upside. But right now, there's nothing else to even focus in our intention here. Let's see how price is moving initially here on the open. I want to check in on the euro. Seems to be trading at the lows for the day. We like that. We have about another 13 pips until we get to our support level, where we will be watching price closely to see how it reacts. And also looks like the US dollar, Japanese yen is taking a look at breaking through this resistance. Hopefully it breaks through this resistance. It's got the momentum this session, and that will just make this trade very nice and easy to manage if it does. Euro still trading back towards the midway of the range. That's not so healthy. We're seeing the yen so far starting to show or make some gains back versus the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, and also a little bit versus the euro here. So we're going to keep watching that. Pound is pretty bullish against almost everything today, huh? We're seeing a lot of weakness though in the New Zealand dollar. Let's take a look. Yeah. So I see what I see happening here is a little bit of a bull flag. I started with that. I like the trend line better. This is a bullish continuation pattern. If it does trigger. What's going on? Right, pound is in dollar. I see we're in this bull flag. If we get a breakout here, this could be a nice continuation move. You saw one over down here as well. It's trading nice technically. You saw here you can see down here the bull flag, and then the breakout. That was a beautiful trade, and price is consolidating again pretty nicely, but not yet. We're inside the flag. I would wait for a breakout, see what happens there. That's why I love when you guys throw out some pair. I don't follow a lot of pairs, and when you guys throw them out there and I see the opportunities they offer, that is awesome. I love that aspect about this. I don't know if anyone is following Bitcoin. If you saw in the video I put out last week, going on the record, I noted that 6,500 would probably hold. You never know with these things, right? It's difficult to forecast price and to get it exact, but so far that held overnight. That was pretty nice. Could wind up being a nice call. Gold is trading down near its lows also. So really the euro US dollar and the US and gold are the two trades that are leading so far. I would love to see the Australian dollar break down over here. It's making a run at it right now. We're seeing weakness going into the New York on the Australian dollar. If this holds here, though, I'm gonna have to get out of this trade. If break down to the 8-hour time frame, I have to keep watching this today, because if this support holds over here and price, makes a higher high even on the 8-hour, it's just not worth me holding anymore because the trade hasn't fallen into favor. It's just a little bit into profit. I would have to get out of that trade. 36 minutes. We've covered a lot so far. Those of you just joining us, welcome. Glad everyone is here. I love it. Enjoy working with you guys. I hope that everyone is learning a lot. I do plan on all of this week, except for Thursday. We have a holiday in the US. It's Thanksgiving. It is an important family holiday. But the rest of the week, I plan on just putting together a lot of information together for everyone. Inside the area that I was showing you on Friday, so that everyone has all the information. It's going to help people have more of a focused tutorial on to get up to speed quicker with what we're doing and how we're doing it. So I plan on making a lot of headway with that. I know Janero, I don't think he's here with us yet. I know that he's definitely looking forward to that, as well as am I. And I really have the mindset that the more that I could share with you and the more that I could get you up to speed, the more that you'll be able to share back and work with me, bouncing off each other ideas all the time, being able to help point out setups, things that are developing, as well as be just more of a sound way of holding me accountable. It's really beneficial for myself. Not that this is like, anyway, this is the truth. Outside of the euro Australian dollar, which has a buy here today, and you can see the buy coming off of support with the true trend positive. The entry CCI was oversold against the uptrend, giving us that rubber band, that coiled spring action, and then price came back up here, right? So that's an entry that we saw. It's pretty close to entry, about 5 pips away or so. And then the pound US dollar had this buy entry here off of this support holding, and then price resumed upwards. Aside from those two, I don't see any possible trades or setups that have occurred so far this week. There are things to watch, such as the pound Canadian dollar, watching this one to see what happens at this resistance, where it's at right now, and this resistance right up here even a little further, to see if price is rejected and resumes downwards, because this might be a good counter trend trade. I know that this is counter trend. I'm way up in this uptrend, but this looks like it could be possibly ending after we had the breakdown here of this trend line. Paul Tudor Jones, one of my favorite, greatest traders of all times, talked about some of the best money to be made on counter trend trades, but an opportunity has to present itself. You're not looking to go counter trend. Here we have a technical break. So that's something we want to learn how this develops. We want to watch it. I did like that pound New Zealand dollar bull flag developing. That's something to keep an eye on. Oh, this is long too, right? So this is going back from October. This is about a month long. That's interesting. We'll keep watching that, see what happens. Nothing developing there today, though. That's for sure. What else do we have? There's a, it's a good position to be in anyway. Just managing some good trades, especially during a week with a holiday in it. So no complaints. But I would like to see the little bit of follow through we need for these, good trades to become really good trades, and we need some further continuation here for that to occur. US dollar, Japanese yen is up here testing this resistance. What's going to happen? Is it going to break through and give us some room, or is it going to get rejected? Australian dollar, US dollar, same thing. It is also down here testing this support level. Have to be aware if it's going to break through or hold right now. And we have a little bit more room on the euro US dollar. So I'm not looking a little bit lower for it to look for it be testing a support level. So I'm just holding this one, but I'm watching closely the Australian dollar, US dollar, and the US dollar, Japanese yen. Also, gold has plenty of room, like their euro US dollar. I'm not looking to see how price reacts a little bit lower. Euro, Japanese yen is not looking so solid yet. I have to, this headline's important. So China and the US have basically reached a broad consensus on phase one deal, yada, yada, yada. But you could still see the yen is not really selling off, is it? It's actually putting on gains on the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar today. It's only the pound that is stronger than it. The US dollar is stronger. The euro is kind of mixed. So this is not really, relaying into the yen right now. Fed Powell to speak at the end of today. I don't think that's going to affect things one way or the other. That's it. That's all I really see. It's a nice, easy session for us, right? Is anyone taking a look at any pairs? Are they in any trades that they're unsure of how to manage? Or is anyone looking for any new possible setups that they want to review together? If you are, let me know. Take a look at them. We are about 13 minutes into the session. We still got a lot of time here in New York for things to really get going and start moving. And we know definitely the strongest part after they open will be before the London close. Let's take a look at New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc. Oh, that's not the one I want. All right, I could. All right, this is a good one to look at for many reasons. I feel like we made notes on this one elsewhere. Let me start on the daily. I'm gonna really quick let you know what I see. First of all, the first thing I'm gonna draw in is this level right there. It could even be a little higher. All right, now we are basically, I don't even know if you want to say we're above or below this resistance or support, depending on if we're above it, you call it support. If we're below it, you call it resistance. We're at that level. More importantly, though, here's what I want to focus on with you, all right? But I want you to see that from the big picture. Here's what I really want to focus in on is you could see, you see this series here. First of all, higher lows, right? And you see this pattern that's taking several months of this rounding bottom. So this looks to me like we're seeing the possibility here of a long-term bottom being put into place. We're right now at this inflection point of this support or resistance, whatever you're going to call it, right? And it looks like that if we get above it, there's some nice room here, right? So picture for a moment, you have the phase one deal signed by US and China, and everything is great in the world again. And before the market starts pricing in that means nothing, and that we're actually in a global synchronized slowdown, and that's not going to fix it, we might have this relief rally, right? It's not happening yet. We're getting very close. We're getting very close. We're going to look how to get into this trade if it's happening. Let me skip over to where were we looking? We were looking on the New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen. Let me keep this one up. It's a similar setup we're seeing on the New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen. It looks better on the daily. Yep, we'll go back and we will look at gold again. But first, let's finish looking at this. Let me get rid of, we want to look at the New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen. You could see that we're close to this resistance here. And we said it's possible this week we get this breakout to the upside here on the New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen. That would be a tradable event that we want to take a look at. You could see that we have this resistance right above, and price is getting closer and closer to breaking this dam. And if it does, this is a beautiful trade. We're seeing that also on the New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc. Both those are coming to a point. Over here too, you have the same thing. You have that series of lower highs. And this rounding bottom coming to resistance. Actually, the two setups are very similar. So they both look like good trades. They both look like good trades. New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc, and the New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen could both break out this week. They haven't yet. See what happens. All right, we're going to take a look first at gold, and then we'll take a look at the US dollar, Swiss franc. Gold's the easy one. It's an open trade that we already have. All right, so looking at it in the daily, first of all, before we break it down to the 8-hour, the last thing we see is this resistance up here, and our trades were taking towards this resistance as price resumed downwards towards the trend. Let's look at that. This is that resistance we were just looking at right here. And then when we saw price resuming back towards that trend, we got into those trends. Right now, we are trading a little bit below this minor support level we have here. We're waiting to see if we get some continuation. When we get down to around 1448 or 1446, right around that area, we'll be looking to see how price reacts, if price is able to break through that support. And if it does, this becomes a home run. Our take profit is down in this blue area. We'll watch it to see how it develops. If price bounces off of here, right around here, stop goes to break even, and we'll watch the trade. But right now, we're just holding this trade. This is not a trade that you want to chase after right now. The entry was all the way up here towards the resistance level. This is where we were looking for entries. Right now, this is just an open trade being managed. Do not chase this trade right now. Are we seeing the euro, US dollar coming? Yep. We're seeing now during the first 20 minutes of New York, we're seeing that definitely the euro give back some gains versus the dollar. There is still nothing to do yet on this pair. everything is staying as it is. We're seeing the US dollar just come off a little bit these 20 minutes. That doesn't mean anything whatsoever yet. But I do want to look now at the US dollar, Swiss franc. And I'm just curious before we do that, what's happening with the Australian dollar? Still a little weaker today. All right, let's look what's happening now. That yellow line was kind of like showing a possible rounding top. You can see that price over here is, it's like a rounding top that's possibly being priced in. There's nothing happening on the US dollar Swiss franc. I see that it's still within this range, this blue box, where price is just range bound between here. Is it possible to play off the lower bound, to be buying off the lower bound and selling up here where it is right now off of the overhead resistance? Yes, that's a possible play. You see right now this resistance going back. Here was resistance, 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 broken, resistance, resistance. Price is right about it right now, right? Prices. So it's also possible that this now holds over here and you see price start making a run here to the upside. But unless the US dollar is able to break this blue box over here, this blue range, I'm not looking for any type of trend play. Right now, I just see this trading within the blue box. That means you're buying down towards the bottom and selling up here between now and the top of this box right here. Right. Okay. And so very good, Amir. You were saying, is it time to short this again? Yeah. So you'd be looking for shorts. Let's take a look deeper then to look for an entry and what that looks like. All right. So Amir, it's a little premature for me. I would personally not be looking to take the short here. And let me show you why. You see this line that we have here, this resistance. Price is technically trading above it right here. And I know this whole area here is kind of like price needs to get above it to be looking for longs because we've cleared it. But price, if this holds, if this little area of resistance here holds, you want to be looking to take a long off of that. This is, Amir, this is too undecided for me to be looking to take any type of trade here. I would not. I'm standing aside. I don't like the sideways price action. Yes, you could look to sell here with a stop definitely above here if you're wrong, or even just above here, right, with a tighter stop. I don't like this type of trade whatsoever. I'm not looking to trade it. You saying you're looking for shorts? Yes, I respect that because you're at the top of this range right here, and we're in this sideways range where you're buying the bottoms here, selling the tops. So you would be looking for shorts up here. Again, I definitely don't like it though, and it's not something that I would take. I have to confirm your analysis though, where that you are looking for shorts, how you get into this trade. That's what's the iffy part for me. I prefer trading things that are not trading sideways. It's a tough one. Bitcoin is, again, this is really easy. If you go to the YouTube channel, I guess on Thursday, there was a video posted on Bitcoin where, I really gave a really nice price prediction. And I did say that this is the time to buy. longer term, this is absolutely the last time that I went on the record on Bitcoin was in January 6th, when Bitcoin was at 4,000. And I said, we're going to be looking to test 8,400 within 3 months. It took 4 months. We broke it. Now over here, I think 6,500, I said in the video, will be the low. I'm not saying that's definitely going to happen, but I went on the record saying it, and I believe it will be. It's an important level for Bitcoin to hold. I know that we're about 6-7 months into the halving. Price should hold there. And, we saw a nice bounce off that level today overnight, and that's positive. But again, the best way to trade Bitcoin by far, I'm not even kidding, and I recommend it to all of you, go watch the video we have on in the Bitcoin playlist on the Bitcoin strategy for beginners. And it's better than any advanced strategy that anyone trades Bitcoin with. Traded off the 12-hour with the true trend. Watch that video. It will forever change the way for you to trade Bitcoin. That's the way to do it. I highly recommend it. Go check that out. And again, I trade my currencies in a Bitcoin account, and I believe that's the best way to grow your Bitcoin. So please go do that. Bernard, which pair are you short? I want to take a look at that. We're almost a half hour in now to the US equity markets open in New York, and we are seeing a little bit, we're seeing the dollar come off a little bit so far, reflected in all pairs. This resistance so far, we have to watch if that is a rejection on the US dollar, Japanese yen, euro actually coming back a little bit now. All right, so there's a lot of work to do ahead of us for these next 2 hours in the New York session to see how these open trades are looking and how we're going to manage them, as we didn't get an initial burst during the open of New York, but there's still a lot of trading ahead of us. No, you don't even understand. It will change the way that you invest in Bitcoin. It's the best thing you can do for yourself. Spend that 10 minutes today, watch that video on that Bitcoin strategy, and then go ahead and you'll see why you need to stick to it and stick to it. And you're going to accumulate Bitcoin year over year. You're just going to be, and you're not even going to have to worry about it. You're going to take all the worry and emotion and stress out of it. It's by far the best way to trade and accumulate Bitcoin. Now looking ahead at the euro US dollar, again, I'm not moving my stop whatsoever at this point. My stop is still above this resistance. The next step will be move it to break even. And that will be sooner than later, only because what I'm looking forward is if price continues to rise, what I'm looking at here is I will get another possible short entry criteria. If my entry CCI comes pulled back to the upside with the trend obviously still down, and the closer I get to this upper channel here, which is resistance. So if like by, it wouldn't be tomorrow, late tomorrow, maybe during London tomorrow, if I see price trading around here at this resistance with my entry criteria. If price resumes downwards, I would add to this position. Aside from that, it has plenty of room to roam, not touching it. Similar situation here with gold. The two that I'm worried about are the US dollar, Japanese yen, and the euro, Japanese yen. And I want to see how price reacts off of this resistance today. It's already been bouncing off of it, and now we're coming back down towards the lower end of the channel again. There's no moves to take, but wait. Now, as we noted earlier, if the US dollar came off a little, we would see the pound leading the way. That's what we're seeing here right now. Again, anyone that was able to get that trade, we did look at it over the weekend. Kudos. I wasn't even looking to take it, but so far that's the trade of the day. And again, whether you take the trade or not, it's really important to review it, whether it's a winning trade or losing trade. It's essential to always review the trades all the time. This makes these imprints in your subconscious and really helps you for the trades that you're about to take going forward. We are seeing New Zealand dollar strength. Picking up. But today's the story of the path. So I don't know. Obviously, we know that it was technical, right? A technical test of the support. But I don't know if anything happened on the news end out of the pound, causing the strength in the pound today as well. So as price comes up to here and tests this resistance, that's really where it's going to get interesting for me, and I'm going to watch. It's making it above this resistance here right now. I'm going to look at this one. Amir, let's jump back to the US dollar, Swiss franc. See what I see when I look at this, though. I see this resistance, which is right now it's kind of holding. It's possible here with the entry CCI pulled back and the true trend positive. I'll get, if you were shorting this here, and if you're playing the range, if price made a higher high here, that's where my stop would be. I would get out right away. Whenever you're counter trend, you have to take really, really, really short stop losses and get out if you're wrong. And if price reverses and makes a higher high here, you're wrong on this. If you get, obviously it's a very good trade here, catching it towards the top of the range if it resumes downwards. But because of this resistance here and this resistance here and price trading almost right at it, tiny, a pip or two below it right now, if this holds, be aware. The dollar is a bull, but long-term dollar is a bull. It's coming off a little bit this session right now. We didn't even get yet. Oh, resistance was a little higher. I have it at 9844. All right. I expect us sooner or later to be to be testing back up at 99. We'll see. We'll get another look at 99, 99 and a half. I think so. A lot of people are talking about this being towards the top of the US dollar for a like a 7-year cycle. That could be. I think that depends largely on the US election. I think I think it depends largely on the election and who gets elected. If we're going to be having some, enormous government spending, healthcare for all, right? Free college, then yeah, the dollar is going to be really weak. Right now, it's really bull. All debt across the world is in dollars, which means that all countries need dollars to pay that debt back, right? Then you also have trade, which is largely in dollars. It's being de-dollarized a little bit. That's definitely picking up. All right, let's see if we get a resumption now. Let's see if the dollar picks up now. First 35 minutes are out of the way. It's a nice session to be trading, though. In a perfect world, the dollar's going to make a nice push today, and we're going to be sitting pretty the rest of the week. The thing on the larger scale to look out this week is if we get that New Zealand dollar breakout. It's looking at Japanese yen, and it's also looking like a possible breakout versus the Swiss franc. That's a position trade. That's one to watch. That could be a nice position trade. That's my type of swing trading. NASDAQ at record highs. Yep, that's what we're watching for. Hoping to get a little more breakdown on the Australian dollar. Oh, okay. This is where you're short. So this is a tough one, right? Because it's at that point where does this resistance hold like it's held before for so many times, or is she breaking out? Right? Which is why we always wait for the breakout to occur and then the test of the breakout to see if that resistance holds as support before getting into it. So for example, if we get long this trade here, it will be on a breakout and then the test of the support that we look for an entry. So right now, do you play this short? Are you taking a short up here? I mean, you're trading at the resistance. My question is, where are you wrong if you're taking a short here, right? Where's your stop loss? That's the most important thing that I could ask looking, if you're taking a short here, playing this resistance level that you're at right now, where's your stop loss? If you're wrong, that's what you have to be watching. It's tough because I see like this bottom and patterning happening. I see these lower set of lower, higher lows and the rounding of it. And we're testing here right now. And then you throw in the fundamental picture and what's going to happen going into the end of the year if the US and China are, sign this paper tiger, this paper, like this phase one deal, which means nothing, but like the market's going to like be happy about it. It's a tough one right now. The only thing I'd be worried about is where's my stop? Where am I wrong on this trade? The way that I am viewing this is if I get a breakout to the upside, then I'll look to get long on the first opportunity. That's how I see this pair. But we don't have the breakout yet. So I don't consider that we broke out and now we're testing. Right? If you're looking like as that as the breakout and that's testing a support, it's a weak signal for me. I'm not taking that. I'm waiting to see like a breakout because there was no breakout here, right? We're bouncing off the resistance here, and it's not black and white. It's not one line in the sand. It's a box. That's the resistance you're looking at. It goes back here. That makes sense. It's the way to look at it. Things seem a little slow right now, but this is an important session here for me. I want to see whether or not our trades are going to, fall back more towards entry, or if we're going to get a little bit of momentum. The next hour and 40 minutes should provide that clue. Things seem a little slow right now in New York, but I have a feeling that she's going to pick up. You see Bitcoin trading now back towards the right here, back towards this broken 72. Hold on, let me zoom out here. I'm just noting right here that when price broke down here below this level, it's come down and it's not testing that level right now. Obviously, it has a lot of work to do. It needs to get back really above 79, 8,000 to really pass through this period. But either which way, we're talking about a $700 move up to the upside in the past 8 hours, which is better to the upside than the downside for the bulls. That's it. I mean, it looks like we're going to have some downtime for the next hour, but I definitely want to be able to check in with you all as we get towards the close of London to see what is happening, whether or not any actions need to be taken for our trades, and what I'm, we got a little bit of downtime. Till then, we have a little bit of downtime. If anyone has anything they want to discuss or any questions, now is the perfect time. Let me know. Mima, you're asking about an entry signal using the true trend, and we'll take a look at, an example. If you haven't already watched the video on the true trend, which is definitely in the description here below, at some point, some point today, watch that video. It's very short. It's about 10 minutes long, and it explains how the true trend works really quick. So when this is above zero, the trend is positive, and when the reading is below zero, right, it's a negative trend. You could always go ahead and look at the reading over here on the right side under trend CCI. And if it's a negative reading, it's a downtrend. And if it's a positive reading, it's an uptrend. Okay, that's number one. Number two, this blue line here we call the entry CCI. Okay, that helps you as a guide of when to get into the trade or when to look for entry criteria. Okay, here's how that works. All right, let's zoom back a little bit. We were watching, this is going on either early last week. We were watching over here to get into the euro US dollar, right? The closer you get to support and resistance is the best time to trade, okay? For example, the entries that we took yesterday, last week, were off of this resistance level we had drawn in up here, right? This line was not drawn in yet. We were just looking at this. And we had resistance above head. So we're looking to entry. We're looking for an entry. When you have the entry CCI pulled away from the trend, that is giving you a green light to look for a trade, because then you're not chasing after price. You're not chasing after momentum. And the signal to get in is when price makes a lower low than the previous price bar. So you can see all the way up here. Now down over here, if you were to take this, over here you had the entry CCI positive against the downtrend. And if you were looking for a signal to get short, your stop had to be really tight, whether it was right up here. You see the last time the entry CCI moved above, it would be really tight. We weren't looking for shorts down here. We were already managing shorts that we were in at better levels, right? But if you took this trade, you have to get out really quick if you're wrong. The next time that price takes you back into the trade is where I got in, was right over here. You could see that price made the lower low. The entry CCI was pulled back in the uptrend, and we're in the downtrend, excuse me. The entry CCI was pulled against it, and then its price resumed in. I got in the trade because I had my resistance level up here, so my stop is right above it. Price fell into the favor, came back, tested the resistance again, and then gave another opportunity to get short for people, a better one, right? And we're just holding that right now. Now you could see here, as we're in real time, you could see the entry CCI making its way back up. And if it turns positive in this downtrend, and the closer you get to this resistance here, the better the entry, right? So would you want to take this trade now? No, right? The entry was up here. Right now we have a support level down here. So it's very close. The risk to reward is very bad. As price gets closer to this resistance up here, and then if it resumes downwards as you have entry criteria, that's a better trade, because then your stop, you know where it is, right above the resistance level, and then your reward down at the support level is greater than the loss, the risk. The risk to reward is favorable. So that's the trade you want to take. So you want to take longs off of support, right? Like down over here, for example, you had the positive trend, entry CCI was pulled down, and you bounced off this support. So over here is a beautiful entry, right? You want to trade off of the support and resistance areas. Take a look at all those in order. First, we'll look at the gold. All right, so gold is a little more interesting. Okay, now currently in a trade from up here, holding it. You could see over here this support line we had drawn in, which is now resistance. Once it broke, you see over here resistance, broken, support, support, broken. It should now be resistance. If you test this resistance up here, which we're doing right now, right, and you see the entry CCI is giving you trade criteria to enter, you could take another trade here if price resumes downwards. You could add to your position, your original position, if you're short from up here, or you could take a new entry, definitely short. If now that we have trade criteria, you see here, entry CCI is in the uptrend, is pulled back versus the downtrend. And if price resumes downwards, rejecting this now should be resistance level. That's a good opportunity to get short. Right? If price gets rejected here right now, resumes downwards, it's an excellent possibility to get short. Where do you put your stop? What I would do here, the last time my entry CCI penetrated to the upside was here. I would have my stop right above there. I would have it right above that last move, that last swing high. So it's at 1475. Where is the possible reward? Now, right now in the current trade, I'm looking right around here, 1448, 1446, to see how price reacts. That's the first thing that you would have to look for. And again, as you take trades later in the move, you have to look to get out of them quicker. But if we blow past there, that becomes a nice trade. We're going to be looking down here to see how price reacts down at 1430. So there's a lot of potential there. That's a nice setup developing, a nice additional entry to take on actually the gold. And actually, I will be considering adding to my position on this one. I took such a small position on the original entry. It will be another small position, but a nice trade here. And I'm going to give even more. This week I'm going to be working on Myanmar, putting on, in our webpage, putting in a lot more information, and just articulating it better and better for everyone. And thank you for that. Thank you for forcing me to elaborate. That's awesome. I like that. And when I do say things, for example, we're speaking for one and we're speaking for many. We do have a lot of people that enjoy watching the replays. Some people watching this for the first time, and by me pointing you to the tutorial on the true trend in the description, that helps people who are just first hearing that actually, get a hold of that resource. What's going on the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, right? This first thing, step back. I mean, clearly we're trading within this channel, and as of right now, the support of the channel, the lower trend line, is holding. Same thing is happening on the Euro Japanese yen, right? It's a very similar trade. And until the support line breaks, we're respecting it, but it's holding right now. Here is, if you're not, I'm in the Euro Japanese yen. So I'm not looking to take a trade here on the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. If you're not in either one of them, you could take a trade on either one of them, but they're the same setup, the same pattern. You do not want to take a trade on both of them. So as far as entry, right? What do we need to clear here to the upside in order for this trade to be working out better? All right, that's the question you want to ask. And we're close to it. It's actually right above here. We get above that. If we get above 82, this trade is looking a lot healthier and a lot better. It looks like then the support here is holding. If we clear 82, right, and then you get your pullback at that point, clearing 82. Hopefully this true trend is turning positive, and then wait for your textbook entry. Wait for the entry CCI to pull back. You'll be testing you'll be testing two supports. This is resistance right now up here at 82. If you break that above and then come back and test it, you're testing this resistance would now be support and this trend line. I'm in the trade on the Euro Japanese yen, but better not to be in this trade and waiting for an entry, right? Because you have better opportunity if you get the breakout above, get the retest, then get long on the resumption because there's a lot of room up here to work with, a lot of room. That would be a nice trade. Right now, if we get a breakdown, right, a breakdown and close outside this channel, then we have here to look for take profit area. But I would wait. You could get a better entry than I got on my Euro Japanese yen trade, a safer entry, a better entry. So I would wait here and just exercise a little bit of patience. Seems like we have a lot of just stalling out happening right now. This is why I love the London session. Everything happens overnight while I'm sleeping and I have everything already, all my orders already placed in, my targets and my stops, and if I have any entries in play, and it just happens technically and I don't have to watch it and worry about it. Gold is a watch though. If we start resuming back downwards here, I like a re-entry here on gold. Now, the way that I play this trade though, if I do take another short here on gold, again, you have this resistance right here above me. And if price is rejected off it and resumes downwards, now that I have criteria, I'll take it. But what I'll do is I will take profit on this trade first, just down here automatically, because I have this trade open up here higher still. And I'll be watching this one to see if I take profit or hold it for the blowout below. But on the add to position, I get out of that one first always. Whenever I add to position, I always get out of the later add quicker. Again, so far this morning, US dollar is being rejected towards this resistance area. And we also have this trend line support holding. All right, we have a moment of downtime here. I'm gonna take a 5 minute break. Go ahead and kiss my babies and get some tea. I'll be back in about 5, 7 minutes, and we'll continue from there. All right. I can see so much has happened since I left. Just be cautious, anyone trading the US dollar, right? Swiss franc, again, just you have to be careful. You have to know where your stop is if you're shorting that. You have to know where your stop is. I'd be careful. I'm back. So let's take a look at the US dollar starting on the daily tier, stepping back. All right. Right now, clearly it's within this channel that we're playing off of. Okay. Before this channel was here, we were playing it off of this breakdown of this trend line. Price broke down, right? We took profits off of this support right here. And then we took more shorts off of this resistance up here. That's where we are in real time. So what happens next and now? Right now we're managing open positions that we still have from up here off this resistance. And as they get close to this support over here, down at one, we have it in at 1.099, you know, a little bit higher. We'll be looking to see whether or not we take profit or if price stalls out and or bounces off of, and at that point we would take profit. Otherwise we're holding, and over here I'll definitely take profit no matter what. We get off of this double support line and off this trend line support. So this is a place to look if you want to buy, right? If you're looking to buy and you're counter trend, but you're buying off of this trend line support, that's a take profit zone for me. But it's also if you really want to be aggressive and look to buy. Would I buy off of this support? No, I'm not buying because the trend is down. We're trading in a downtrending channel, in a downtrend, right? Trend is down. I'm in a down. Everything's against me. Momentum is trading down. Price is trading down. The channel is down. So I'm looking at this area over here only as to see if I'm going to take profit into it, and hopefully reach. You know, this is really the take profit zone I'm looking for. Hopefully we reach down here. But as far as buying, the only time I'm looking to buy now is, and this is where you need to be looking to buy, is if we break out of this channel to the upside. If we break this resistance, this yellow line is resistance, the upper end of the channel. And if we break out of it, and at the same time you break out of it, you will have the shoe trend turning positive. You'll have both things occurring. Then you have an opportunity to begin looking for longs. You do have an aggressive longs perhaps down here. You have this resistance support down here. You have double support. So that's an aggressive entry to look for longs. Right now, you do not want to be looking for longs up over here in no man's land with a down sloping channel in a downtrend. Okay. Definitely. That's why we're here, to share ideas. I have to jump back to this gold trade here with you, though, because for those of you who were just here a little while ago while we were discussing gold, look, here's the thing, though. If during this session, price resumes back down here and starts making new lows, I would not take this trade. I was perceiving this price bar, this 8-hour price bar, closing upward, because then I'll have entry criteria, and I'll, have, if price resumes all the way down here, this entry CCI will be back below. I won't be chasing after price with this open trade. If this session closes green, and sometime during Asia, we test this resistance successfully, I would enter short during London. Okay, I just want to be clear about that. I will not take this trade right now at all. In the earliest I would take this is during London. So say I assume, I hope everyone that is with us is all on the same page right now. If anyone is curious about anything or uncertain about anything or has any questions, aside from looking at other currency pairs, but just kind of, I want everyone to more or less be on the same page together. And if anyone is not there, please do not be afraid to ask. This is the best time. We have a lot of downtime right now. I have absolutely the desire and the patience to help anyone who's willing to learn. So if you have any questions now, if you're not sure what we're talking about, where we are, we'll help you. I'll help guide you so that you could get caught up to speed with us, as well as explain to you anything that I can right now. Is this a real-time headline? Bitcoin extends the decline. Bitcoin's up 5% on the day, testing 6,500. Hey, just for fun, if you haven't seen that video that I put out on Thursday on Bitcoin, making a price prediction, that's definitely a good one to watch. Mimad, hey, thank you. That's awesome. I firmly believe in building people up. I believe happiness comes from building other people up around you. That's where true happiness comes from, right? The more that you build up, obviously starting with those in your family. I have a big family. We got 5 kids, my wife, but by building everyone up around you, your friends, your family, everyone that you come into contact with, this is where your true happiness comes from, by adding that value. And trading is trading's phenomenal, but wow, what a journey it is. And it really helps to have guides, and it really helps to have friends and lights along the way. And one of the most important things about trading is that ongoing education. And this is essential in any field. In any field, it's absolutely essential to keep on learning, especially in trading, and always discovering new ideas. And I do find that by having to articulate things to other people, to all of you, by having that almost teaching aspect, that really helps solidify and things within myself. And so it's a mutually beneficial thing for sure. Thanks, Mark. So I assume this is firming up a little bit off. It seems like we had good numbers off Dallas Fed. All right. It's not even on the calendar for a red event. Again, the only number that I'm focused on this week is really this one at the close of the week, over the weekend. Do not be holding any yen pairs open over the weekend. But we don't need to really get into that now. I'll get into that with you later in the week. But it looks like the calendar is pretty light this week. I agree. Hold on. So, I mean, long term, hold on. So absolutely. Okay. This is great. This channel that we are in right now, right? This looks like a bear flag, right? It looks like a bear flag. This is big downtrend. And now this looks like a bear flag, which is a downward continuation pattern. Until we break it, we're playing the pattern, right? Because there's a big range here. Now, so long-term things don't look good for the euro, right? We have a lot of things going on. Italy is going to weigh on the euro a lot in the near future. Right now, Germany is weighing on the euro. Germany, I don't know if it's in recession or not. I mean, I think it is. I don't know technically if it is. So the problem, though, is also that longer term, we're definitely seeing we're at the end of a 10-year cycle as far as the recovery. We are looking at a global slowdown, which is definitely going to benefit the Japanese yen. And I believe that we are going to see a lot further downside on the euro Japanese yen. I believe this is very bearish long term. It's also on the euro US dollar, right? There's a talk that next year, you're going to see Germany doing some stimulus, which should benefit the euro. And if that does happen, and we see the euro recover, anywhere as high as, call it 1.14, 1.15 or higher, long term, to me, that's a phenomenal place for a long-term position short, because the odds are we test much lower on the euro US dollar in the years ahead, right? And same thing here on the euro Japanese yen. This is very bearish long term. Whether or not we ever see any type of recovery up to here, 1.22 would be fantastic place to get short for the long term. We would need to see probably some stimulus out of Germany to get up towards 126. But right now we're trading this channel, right? Long term, I agree. This is very bearish, but we need to break down to the downside. This bear flag needs to break down in order for us to really looking for a position trade short. Dre, is there anything else that you want to look at as far as that? I just gave a really big picture overview of the euro, Japanese yen, but as far as what's going down on, as far as like what's happening right now, well, right now we're trading within this channel that we have drawn in here. You see that, and this is the top end of the channel, and then we have the lower end here. And let me jump down here to the 8-hour for you. Here on the 8-hour. So we have these two lines here. This lower line here, that's really bright yellow. That's the lower end of the channel. It comes down to the spike down here. Price also violated it over here. And then you have this other one here. Things are in black and white, right? You have this channel over here, which has been respected over here and here again. And so this is like, we get below this one, it's like warning, and we break this one, this bear flag has failed. Then you could take a trade short. We'll be looking for shorts for like our normal day swing trades, which last anywhere from 1 to like 4 or 5 days, normally trades. And you could also be looking for a bigger trade short here if we break this. But until we break down out of this channel, we're assuming support's going to hold. It held over here. It held over here. It held over here. It could be holding here. And these are always the hardest points to trade, but they offer the most opportunity, right? So same thing over here. They're hard to go short over here. This needs another upper channel also, but we're focused over here right now until we break down. And you see over here, I have this support. If we break below that support, I have it at say 119.18. I believe my stop loss is 119.18. If I hit that stop loss, these two supports have been broken, and this channel has been broken. I'm dead wrong. I lost. There's no way that we're resuming upwards. And not only that, we're going to be looking for sells then. But until then, right now, I'm looking for this support to hold. You see this blue square here? This is like a buy zone, and we're currently within this buy zone. And that's where I'm at on this trade, playing it off this support, looking for this support to hold, and for us to resume upwards into this bear flag. Would love our little Australian dollar to break down a little bit here in this session. The next hour, hopefully, will provide a little bit further move, right before the London close. Dre, I think there's like a 30-second delay in all texts, but I don't think beyond that. Absolutely. And you know what? I'm sharing my insight, my input, but also share yours. If you have a contrary opinion or perspective than I do, uh, always share it. It's going to help me. Whether I agree with it or not, I'm going to always consider it and take a look at it. As an investor, as a trader, you always have to be considering the contrary perspective to your own. And, you know, it's all good. But there's no denying the fact that right now in the Euro Japanese yen, we're trading in this channel. It has not been violated. And until it's violated, you have to play the channel. In long-term picture, right? That we're in a downtrend. This is nothing more than what looks like to be a bear flag developing, which is a downward continuation pattern. But you sure don't want to be short here, not until we break down. Samantha, we have not looked at, let's look at right now at the pound, New Zealand dollar. I know that, well, we have a strong pound today, and we also have a relatively strong New Zealand dollar, so I have no idea what's going on over here. Oh, yeah, we did. We took a quick look at it, and this is, you could see from just stepping back here, anytime we look at a pair, the first thing that we always do is look at the daily time frame from the bigger perspective with no indicators. And I mean, you could see that we have a bull flag here developing. You see that drawn in. You see these two little trend lines giving you that guide that we are consolidating this big move up. You know, the pound has made this huge run, and there's a big move up. Here was another one. Let me draw this in for you. This was also you can see this bull flag here also, continuation pattern. And here we're also consolidating these gains very nicely above this, you know, above this. Let me draw that in. Above that support right there. And until it breaks out to the upside, though, I'm not chasing it. I'm just waiting for this pattern to develop. Right now, it could fail, it could break down, or it could break out up. But I'm just on the you want to be on the sidelines here, waiting for the breakout of that pattern, to go ahead and take whatever develops out of it. But what I see right now is this definitely just we're in a bull flag. You should be on the side. Let's take a look. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. So, I mean, you're sitting pretty, but what do you do now, right? That's the question. As you near this resistance up here, two things. I mean, the first thing you probably want to do is move your stop down to break even at that point, if you hadn't already. And then you have a nice trade, because if you are preemptive, if you get the breakout, you're just already holding. But playing it off the support down here, I don't know how this looks. Beautiful trade. But you do see the bigger picture of what's happening here, right? I mean, now you're in sitting pretty. It's okay to be early when you're right. But you know, as you will learn and come to see, is that I take few trades and I take the trades that offer the highest probability. I find that by not over trading, by trading less and picking your setups, you're definitely gonna increase your profit potential. You're gonna increase your profitability. But that's a good one. What are you going to say? That's a good trade, and the fact that you took it off support, that very well aligns with the type of trading we do here, trading off of support and resistance and trend lines, and that fits very well into our flow. Again, I am going to spend a large portion of this week going ahead and preparing the preview I showed you on Friday. Let me see if I can pull that up. All right. So this is what I'm going to be working on this week. We'll have this area here. For example, what we do here at the live streams, and you click on this section and it'll have for you broken down a lot more explanatory, showing exactly what we're looking for, what we're doing, giving guidelines, tutorials, and that way we can continue adding to that section. This will obviously be where you download the true trend. When we have the ECB, the 11th and 12th of December, and the FOMC, I will introduce to you the scalping strategy for those high impact news events, primarily rate decisions. It used to work well for non-farm payrolls, but that market's not focusing on that right now. This is, if you haven't seen the video, look under popular videos, simple and easy trading strategy. And we'll go ahead and we'll start, I'll start organizing all this content for you so that we could all be, just get up to speed quicker together. Again, if anyone has anything that they're interested in looking at, a pair they're interested in perhaps taking an entry on or are currently managing, want to look at stop loss and take profit levels, absolutely happy at any time after our initial preview, the first 30 minutes where we're actually looking at the trades we're in and for potential setups to go ahead and review anything. See here, just checking in. We were looking at this earlier today on the pound Canadian dollar. We're coming back up towards this resistance level. I'm interested to see this trend line. Once it broke, we're now testing back up to see if this is resistance. And I'm interested to see how price reacts off that, right? I'm interested to see if price is rejected by this resistance and perhaps this trend, this long trend here, could be coming to an end, and that will be a potential place to get short. Obviously, the pound is very strong today. That's being reflected here, but we're testing resistance right now. No, there's no program. This is all what we're doing right now every day. I'm just organizing it better. These are you can't see the bottom of this one. This is on the, if you go to the YouTube channel, this is shared completely in the video. It's a long video, but it shares the strategy, which anyone who's not profitable yet should be trading this strategy. And then the same thing with this one here. This will be shared in the video soon. And this is also already up on the site. The ones that are in blue, that have a blue border, have already been published, and the other ones will be. This one will be published next on the 11th and 12th of December. We'll do those together live as they occur during the rate announcements of the FOMC and then the following day, the ECB. And it was just a place to go ahead and share that content to organize it better. Let me take a look. I have to give you more of like a long-term view on oil, right? And it's very similar in a sense to if you saw the euro, Japanese yen we looked at, right? We're in this downtrend, and right now we have this this bear flag developing. But the reason I say that is because oil is very dependent on the global economy. Right now is the possibility that we're going to see like this fake phase one deal completed versus the US and China. Maybe it looks like it might happen. And if that happens, we might see some of like near-term reprieve in the global economy. How long that lasts, I don't know. And you might see this, some further upside. We might test all the way up to this resistance up here. Let's draw in our resistance. All right. But long term, we are headed further towards this global recession, this global slowdown. It's going to hit harder in the United States. That's going to bring the rest of the world down. And when that happens, you're going to see oil long term come off, right? So what we're seeing right now, and it looks like we broke the last week. It's held though. When we do get a breakdown, and looks like this channel right here, we're going to see this breakdown to the downside eventually. We have further downside. I don't see any type of possibilities for really taking short-term positions on oil right now in such a narrow range. Look, this is the point. This is when you want to be trading.